All right, welcome to our explainer on Jaglavak, 1963. Today, we're jumping headfirst into a really complex story about a man who isn't quite a man and a woman who's treated like a piece of furniture. And through them, we're going to try to figure out what it actually means to be human in a universe that's, well, anything but. So, let's start right where all the confusion begins, with this quote. It's from a woman named Megan Ohana, and she's talking about her companion. I mean, this line just perfectly captures the wild, chaotic energy of their world right from the get-go. Oh, and for context, the Nagus, that's the name of their spaceship. So I want you to picture this. We're on that ship, the Negus, and Megan is just watching. Her companion, a guy named Tolo Biaus, is going through this incredibly violent transformation inside a weird, glowing cocoon. He's been thrashing around in what she calls a box of total darkness for over a week. And honestly, she has no clue what's about to come out. You can just feel Megan's fear here. She turns to Tolo's emissary, Kamila, and she is totally lost. But Kamila, she is weirdly calm about the whole thing. She explains that for Tolo, this isn't some violent fit, it's a purging. She even calls it painting, like it's some kind of creative act that's going to leave behind silk and dye made from his own mold. Yeah, in this world, even creation is born from something kind of creepy. Okay, so this brings up a pretty big question. Who or maybe what is this guy in the box who can apparently walk through walls? Well, the simple answer is he's not a man at all.
Right. Tolo is way more complicated than just a human being. He's this engineered hybrid, part man, part machine, and part insect. He was literally created by a corporation for a very specific job. So you gotta think of him less like a person and more like a piece of living, breathing, sentient tech.
But here's the detail that changes everything and really defines him. Tolo is an alate drone. Now, what that means is that unlike all the others of his kind, his submission, his loyalty, it's completely voluntary. He has free will. He gets to choose. And as we're about to see, that one little fact is the source of all his strength and all of his pain. And this idea of a fractured identity, it's written all over his many, many names. He's not just Tolo Baus. Depending on who you ask, he's a corporate asset, a historical figure called Papillon Day, or even something called an alien Bobasaur. Each name is just another piece of a puzzle that he can't seem to put together himself. All right, so now let's flip over to the woman who's right in the middle of this storm, Megan Ohana. Because if Tolo's whole existence is this tangled mess of identities, hers is defined by one single, incredibly strange role. So, in a complete 180 from Tolo's hybrid complexity, Megan gets introduced in this bizarre, objectified role. They literally call her furniture. She's a companion figure, and her entire job is to just exist, alongside the ship's other old-world things. And this just lays the contrast out perfectly, doesn't it? On one hand, you have him, an augmented, corporate-owned hybrid who carries the burden of free will. And on the other, you have her, a totally unaugmented human, an XXUS, who is so rare that her biology makes her valuable, yet her entire role is to be an object. Now, to make any sense of these weird roles, we've got to take a look at the world that created them. This is a society that's run by corporations, where your identity isn't just who you are, it's what you were built to be. You see, this world has this super rigid social structure, especially for women. You can be furniture, like Megan is. You could be a bridesmaid, which is all about being a potential partner. Or you could be a queen, the leader of a whole hive. Every single role comes with a very specific function and status. And here's the real kicker for Megan's role. Unaugmented human women like her are so incredibly rare that they're actually used as the models for mass-produced AI companions. So Megan isn't just furniture, she is the living, breathing human blueprint for a whole line of what she herself calls fuck dolls. So what do you get when you take this hybrid warrior and this human furniture and throw them together on a 2-year journey home? They call this trip the Fall, and it's this chaotic, crazy descent that's either going to completely break them or forge a kind of bond that nobody could have ever expected. So during one really shocking moment, their ship stumbles upon a convoy of abandoned children, and Tolo, without a second of hesitation, just unleashes his most violent protective side. He hunts down the mercenaries who left these kids to die, and, well, As he puts it right here, he deals with them in his own very unique, very final way. 108. He saves 108 babies. And that's not just a number. It's a brutal, bloody act of salvation. This is the moment we realize his violence isn't just monstrous. Sometimes it can actually be heroic. But even this incredible act of heroism doesn't exactly soften him up. If anything, it just reinforces his fierce independence. When a female officer tries to make a move on him, he just erupts, reminding everyone of his A-light status. His heart, his loyalty, it's not something you can just take or demand from him. It has to be an equal exchange, freely given, or it's nothing at all. And Megan is the only one who sees both sides of him, the terrifying warrior and the gentle protector of children. This shared trauma, this bizarre mix of total violence and shocking tenderness, is what finally connects them. In a moment that just changes their whole relationship, she agrees to raise a child with him, a baby that was born to another crew member. By the time this whole ordeal is over, Megan's view of him has completely changed. She sees past the hybrid warrior shell to the vulnerable, emotional person inside, the crybaby. And by seeing him for who he really is, she also reclaims her own identity, finally moving past that label of fuckdoll. So, after all this chaos, the man-machine and the woman as furniture, what are we supposed to take away from all this? What's the bottom line? This final thought from Tolo, man, it just reveals the core of his tragedy. This whole journey, this fall, it forces everybody around him to connect and feel things. He can inspire it, he can even make it happen for others, but because he's an Allot, he believes he's completely incapable of feeling it himself. And that leaves us with the one question that's at the heart of this entire saga. In a world where bodies are part machine and our roles are manufactured for us, what actually makes someone human? Is it your biology? Is it having free will? Or maybe it's the ability to make others feel love, even if you think you can never feel it yourself.